In a California Chinese enclave, a mayor's guilty plea stokes fears of Beijing's influence. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Add AP News on Google. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Share Los Angeles app. In 2024, voters in the Southern California city of Arcadia elected the first all-Asian city council in the city's history. Now, one of those politicians has pleaded guilty to being an illegal agent of the Chinese government. Former Arcadia Mayor Eileen Wang's plea, entered in federal court Friday, continues a saga that some residents of the area worry could bring unfair scrutiny on the broader Chinese and Asian American community. Arcadia has gone under rapid demographic change in the last 2 decades as immigrants from China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong flocked to the San Gabriel Valley east of Los Angeles. After Wang's case was made public May 11, the news made national headlines and filled the unassuming suburban city with anger, disappointment, and murmurs of quiet concern. On social media, fears about spies and Chinese Communist Party influence abounded. We cannot allow this moment to become an excuse for people to paint entire communities with one brush or weaponize ethnicity for political gain, Acting Mayor Paul Cheng said in a statement. Shock in heavily Chinese community. Wang agreed in April to plead guilty to doing the bidding of Chinese officials by sharing articles favorable of Beijing on a news website she ran, without notifying the U.S. government, as required by law. The 56-year-old was elected in November 2022 to a 5-person city council, from which the mayor is selected on a rotating basis. She was born in Chengdu, China, and immigrated to the U.S. in 1995. The San Gabriel Valley is home to the largest concentration of residents of Chinese and Taiwanese descent in the United States. Beginning in the 1970s, real estate developers marketed the region as Chinese Beverly Hills to woo affluent immigrants. As the population grew, it became a haven for newer immigrants who could go about life without needing English, access business opportunities, and avoid putting their children through China's intensely competitive education system. Arcadia's population of about 53,000 is majority Asian, like many other cities in the region. Ted Tseng, 52, arrived in Arcadia from Taiwan nearly 40 years ago with his parents, who emigrated because they feared potential conflict between Taiwan and China. Read more. Tseng was concerned Wang's indictment would deepen animosity against Asian Americans and discredit their contributions to the region. Fears of anti-Asian racism, though hate crimes are down since the COVID-19 pandemic, still linger. I'm just worried our image has been damaged, Tseng said. Feds crack down on Chinese espionage. The U.S. Department of Justice has escalated efforts in recent years to combat Chinese espionage. In April, a man accused of running a secret Chinese spy outpost in Manhattan's Chinatown neighborhood was convicted of acting as an illegal foreign agent. Wang has suggested that she was misled by her former fiancé, Yaoning Mike Sun, who pleaded guilty to the same charge last year and is now serving a 4-year prison sentence. Sun was the treasurer for Wang's 2022 election campaign. A statement shared by Wang's lawyers references her trust and love for apparently the wrong person who ultimately led her astray. April Verlotto, a former city council member who served with Wang, said Wang and Sun lived together, and Sun accompanied Wang wherever she went. Verlotto said Wang should have stepped down as soon as she came under investigation. She was being selfish, getting sworn in as mayor and not resigning when she knew she was going to be pleading guilty to something, Verlotto said. Gene Sun, a longtime lawyer in Arcadia, agreed. I don't understand how she could have continued being a city council member, he said. Beijing seeks influence overseas. It is not surprising that the Chinese government would attempt to exert political influence in the region, especially given the increased political tension and economic rivalry between China and the U.S. in recent years, said Wai Lai, a professor of Asian Pacific American Studies at Arizona State University. A lot of countries, if they have the will and if they have the means, will try to influence their diaspora, Lai said. According to his federal criminal complaint, Sun was in contact with John Chen, who also pleaded guilty to being an illegal agent of the Chinese government regarding local politicians that Beijing could influence. In reports to Chinese officials, Sun and Chen called Wang a new political star and bragged about her contacts with mainstream U.S. politicians. They also wrote of combating anti-China forces such as Taiwan independence and the Falun Gong, an exiled anti-communist spiritual movement. In a January 2023 message from Chen to Wang referenced in Sun's criminal complaint, Chen said, "You are doing a good job. I hope you can continue the good work. Make Chinese people proud." Some fear political repercussions for Asian Americans. Not only was the news of her guilty plea like a slap in the face, the reaction from some community members has also been painful, said Cheng, the acting mayor. Some residents at a May 19 city council meeting blamed remaining council members for enabling Wang and called for their resignations. "I've been called more names, been told to go back to China, although that's not where I'm from," said Cheng, who came to the U.S. from Taiwan at age 2. For many Arcadia residents and workers, life was as usual the day after the news broke. Many smiled apologetically when asked about the issue, saying they don't pay attention to politics. Aliza Mo, who emigrated from China 6 years ago for her children's education, said she first thought the headlines must be exaggerated. "A lot of people wondered if it was discrimination," she said. When she learned what Wang pleaded guilty to, she changed her mind. "I think it would be improper for anyone to be doing something like that," she said.